Hello, students. How are you all? I hope you all are at your homes and utilizing your time in good way during this period of lockdown. Our bihu is right around the corner, but the situation won't allow us to celebrate as we used to do all these years. But we can celebrate it within our family for this time. And for next bihu, we will have a grand bihu. When we talk about Bihu, what are the things that come to our minds? Orchids that we call kopoful, jolpan, husori, dhol, pepa, gogana, etc. Isn't it? So let's talk about some musical instruments that are played in Bihu. First of all, you can see in the picture a dhol, and many of you may uh, may be expert in playing this instrument. Dhol is an instrument in Assamese culture which is specially used during Bohag Bihu. People of Assam make joy singing and dancing to the rhythm of the dhol. It is from the family of Indian drums, played with a stick and a hand. The next thing we see in the picture, a man is playing a pepa. That is also a very common instrument that we all have seen. A pepa is yet another instrument related with Bihu, especially with Bohag Bihu. It is a wind instrument made out of horn of buffalo. It makes the dancer swing to its melodious tune. The person playing pepa is called pepua. Do you know what a man who plays dhol is called? It is called a dhulia. Now the next instrument that you see is a gagana. I'm sure that you all have seen this. It is a very peculiar instrument to the Assamese people. It is made out of a piece of bamboo. It is also a part of Bihu festival. The lady dancers put the gagana in their coiffure, that is, আমি অসমীয়াত যিটো খোপা বুলি কওঁ. The male dancers put it in their waistcloth, যাক আমি অসমীয়াত টঙালি বুলি কওঁ. It is played by biting a portion with teeth and stimulating the mid portion with a finger or a strand of muga silk. Now, there are many such instruments that are played in Indian classical music. The first picture you can see Ustad Amjad Ali Khan. He is playing a sarod. The instrument he is holding in his hand is sarod. The next one is Pandit Ravi Shankar. He is playing a sitar. The third picture is of Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia, and he is a well-known basuri player. And the next and the last one is Ustad Zakir Hussain, who is an exponent or who is an expert in playing tabla. So there are many other such instruments which can be called classical Indian instrument, and they are played by some notable person or some important person who are very well known in playing those instruments. And that brings us to today's topic, that is our new lesson. It is the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. So the person we are going to talk about is Bismillah Khan, Ustad Bismillah Khan, and the instrument he plays is Shehnai. Now let's go through the text. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of musical instrument called Pungi in the royal residence, for it had shrill, unpleasant sound. So here, shrill, unpleasant sound. Shrill is very a sound that hurts our ears. It is not very unpleasant. It is not good to hear. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. Reeded noisemaker means reed is a hollow stem. You have trees, and some trees you can see that inside is hollow. There is nothing. So such stem are called reed, like bamboo. And Pungi, the name Pungi, is given for all those instruments which have hollow stem or hollow reed. After banning the Pungi in royal residence, few thought that it would one day be revived. Few people who were engaged in playing musical instruments, they thought that someday the Pungi will be revived. Means to bring back in a new form, to bring something to a new form from the older one. Like a tree was dying, but after watering it revived, means it again came to a new form. So that is revive. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the Pungi. So, as we know, everybody cannot go into a palace or a king's residence. So you have to get some special permission. This person who was a barber, means who cuts hair, he had the access, or he could go into the royal palace, and he belonged to a family who were professional musicians. So he thought of bringing an improvement in the tonal quality of the Pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the Pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. So he took a pipe that was longer and broader and made 7 holes on it. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. So when the barber made the new instrument and he made 7 holes and he played, he saw that some melodious tune, which was unlike the Pungi's sound, some melodious sound came out. He played the instrument before royalty. So here the word royalty is the king, and along with his ministers is called royalty. There were many ministers under a king, so they all together are called royalty. The barber, he played the instrument before royalty, and everyone was impressed because the tune was very good, isn't it? The instrument, so different from Pungi, had to be given a new name. So in the picture you can see the Pungi and Shehnai side by side, and you can see there is a difference in the type of the instrument or the pattern of the design of the instrument. So it had to be given a new name. As the story goes, it may not be the proper fact, but as the story goes, as it is said, since it was first played in Shah's chamber. Shah's chamber means Shah means the emperor or the king. The Mughal emperors were called Shah. So it was first played in Shah's chamber and was played by a Nai. Nai means a barber. Nai is a Hindi word. The instrument was named the Shehnai, as it was played by a Nai in Shah's chamber, so it got its name as Shehnai. Sorry for the disturbance. In the picture you can see the Pungi. It is a reeded wind instrument with broad base. It is usually used by the snake men or the snake mesmerizers to make the snake dance. You might have seen the snake men in your villages. The snake actually doesn't dances, but follow the tip of the pungi as snake man moves the tip to attract the snake. So this is a pungi. In the next slide, here you can see a shehnai. A shehnai is double reeded. Double reeded means there are two reeds. One is the wooden frame you can see, and one is the purple one. This purple one is one reed, and this one is another reed. So this and the tip of it contains a metal cone. Shehnai is played in North Indian weddings as well as mourning ceremonies. Mourning ceremonies, when someone dies, then we mourn. That is called mourning ceremony. So let's go further. The sound of Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Here, auspicious means something that promises to bring good fortune. Like we do puja and in namghars. So we think of something to be good in our life. So that is called auspicious. And for this reason, it is still played in temples. As it is considered auspicious, it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. It is an indispensable means that you cannot do without. It is a compulsory thing. That is called indispensable. It is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. Component is a part of something. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional assemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. So there was a tradition in olden days to keep Naubat. Naubat means 9 instruments and 9 people playing 9 instruments. That is called Naubat, and it was found only in royal courts, means in the courts of the king. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. Till recently, it was only used in temples and weddings. As I said earlier, the credit of bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So it was earlier, it was not considered as a part of classical music. As I showed, the dhol, the pepa, the gagana, they are not classical instruments. There are 2 different forms of music. One is classical music, one is folk music, and there are many categories, but mainly classical music, folk music. Folk music is the music that passed from one generation to other generation. The instrument I showed in the earlier slides, like dhol, pepa, gagana, they are folk instruments. This Shehnai was also earlier considered a folk instrument, but it went to the stage of classical instrument through one great person, that is Ustad Bismillah Khan. So till here, I would like to stop it here. And in the first part of this lesson, we found a sentence that I have highlighted, that is, he chose a pipe with natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi. So I have highlighted the word longer and broader to make you understand something. If you see below that, I have written long, longer, longest. If we compare something with the length, then we can tell that one is long. If you have one pencil that is long, you will say, I have a long pencil. But if you have two pencils, then we will say one pencil is longer than the other. How will you say? One pencil is longer than the other. So you are comparing two pencils. And for the last one, longest, if you have more than two pencils, say you have three pencils, so there will be one pencil that may be longer than the other two. So it is the highest form of quality. This long and the next word broad, they're called adjectives because it specifies some quality of a noun. So the highest form of quality is shown as longest and broadest. To understand better, we move on to the next slide. Adjectives describe a quality or characteristic of a noun or pronoun. So these are called degrees of comparison. So let us see how all are different. All three words are different. The basic form of an adjective is known as the positive degree. The basic form means simply you consider one item or one object, then it is called positive degree. Example, long, this is a long pencil. Short, he is a short man. Weak, that dog is weak. Adjective can also be changed in forms to compare a quality between two nouns. This form is known as comparative degree. Like longer, if you compare two pencils, as I said earlier, in my example, if you consider two pencils, then you would say that one is longer than the other. Similarly, shorter, weaker. Similarly, we can also change the form of an adjective to identify a noun. Adjectives identify a noun with the highest or lowest degree of quality. It may be the highest or the lowest degree of quality among a group. Mind it, it is among a group. Means it is, to say it as a group, it requires more than two. If you have more than two, and if you are comparing all the things with one adjective, then if you are finding the highest or the lowest quality among the group, then it is called superlative degree. Like longest, as I mentioned earlier in my example, the pencil in the middle is the longest. Means if you have three pencils, one has the length of suppose 7 centimeter, the other is 5 centimeter, and the last one is 3 centimeter. So the pencil which is the with length 7 centimeter is the longest. Likewise, shortest and weakest. So we have learned that adjective can be changed in its form while we are comparing it with one, two, or more than two things. So here is a home assignment for you all. The first, and each part contains 5 marks. Total is 10. The first question is, why did Aurangzeb ban playing of Pungi in the royal residence? The second one is, how was Shehnai different from Pungi? We have learned that Pungi and Shehnai are two different things. How they are different, you have to write that. Number 3 is, who brought Shehnai onto the classical stage. We have learned about a man who brought Shehnai to the classical stage. You have to write his name, and write his name. You have to write the answer in full sentence. Then, on the second part, you can see the question, put the correct degree of comparison in the following sentences. I have given the adjective in a bracket, and you have to put it in its right degree of comparison. The first one is jalebi is dash, and the adjective is sweet. The second one is a jalebi is dash, adjective is still the same, sweet. Then a banana. Here you're comparing two things, remember that. The third is the Himalaya is dash, and the adjective is tall, mountain in the world. So among all the mountains, Himalaya is dash. Number 4, Sachin Tendulkar is dash, and the adjective is good among the cricketers of the world. There are many cricketers in the world, among them Sachin Tendulkar is dash. Number 5, a tulsi plant is dash, the adjective is short. Then a banana plant. So these are some questions for your home assignment. Hope you have understood till we have discussed, and we will discuss the later part of the lesson some other day. So during this lockdown, stay at home, stay safe, enjoy your time with your family, and you have many opportunities to be fulfilled that you can do in your home by staying at home. So do those, and read continuously. Don't waste your time. Thank you.